I want to bring in my first guest, Robin Simcox, a terror and national security analyst for the Heritage Foundation's Margaret Thatcher Center. Robin, thank you for being with me. First of all, as they take a look at the scene, what specifically are they seeking?
Well, I think at this stage there's going to be a lot of interest to see whether this gunman had any associates. Obviously, there have been people arrested alongside him. We don't know exactly what their involvement in this plot is, if any. But this guy left behind a very large social media and online presence as well. So there's going to be a lot of work being done by investigators, not only looking at his contacts, his physical contacts in the real world, but also the kind of people he was interacting with online.
Talk to me about the kind of terror that this is. You know, that the country, and ours is this way too. You know, you wait until you have certain criteria in place and then you call it terror.
Yeah, well, I think it's very clear immediately this is an act of terrorism. If you look at the gunman's manifesto, he lays out very clearly his political motivations, his political agenda. He has a hatred of Muslims. He calls them invaders. He views this attack as being essentially a defense of the white race, the defense of white supremacy. And so there's very little doubt that this is a horrendous act of terrorism, the worst certainly to hit New Zealand, and something that is unfortunately happening increasingly throughout the world.
One of the jarring parts of all of this bloodthirsty killing is the fact that it was streaming live. And the social media, I guess you call it social media, at least the internet component of all of this is as much of the story as anything else.
Absolutely right. The internet is absolutely vital to this, just from what we've seen already. He posted pictures of the murder weapons on Twitter in the days before. He obviously live streamed his attack on Facebook, but he was also using messaging boards that he was very active on to encourage the people he was talking to online to follow the attack as it took place. The social media, this kind of twisted internet culture, which he seems to be part of, seems to me to be a very integral part as to what motivated and the kind of ideology that seemed to help create this twisted view, this twisted worldview the gunman had, where he thought he needed to carry out these awful killings.